another episode of Inspired Moment with Jumoke. My name is Jumoke, and this program is powered by the Inspired Design School of Fashion. Okay, on this channel you're going to find videos on, DIY videos on how to make dresses, adults, for children, how to make bags, shoes, accessories, and the like. So if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do so, and remember to turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any of our classes or tutorials. All right, today we'll be learning how to make like an overnight bag, or you can call it a travel bag, or simple weekend bag, or whatever. So we're going to be, you can use any kind of fabric or materials that you desire. You can use African print. For me, I'll be using this African print as the lining piece, and this material, I'm not really sure what it's called, but it's like canvas, sort of, but not really. So actually just use any material. And if you're using it for souvenir, most times you don't want something that is very expensive, so you may not even line it, just use the material alone. Okay, and we'll be making use of a zipper. I'm using a contrasting zipper, which is black. So I just bought a zipper, the clothes zipper. You know, it comes without tabs. Then I buy the tabs separately. It's a size 10, I believe. It's a very big one. Okay. So the length I'll be using, I'll tell you as we go on, and then we'll be making use of this. We'll be making use of this webbing for the handle. All right. Also, I'll be using this foam inside just to give it a more solid look and feel. It will make it last longer, but it is optional. All right, so let's get started. I've cut out the size I'll be needing. So I have the width, or the length, is 24.5 inches. 24.5 inches, that's the width or the length. So the width is 40 inches. That means if I fold it into two, I have 20 inches. Okay, so like this is 20 inches, and like this is 24.5. If you open it up, you have 40 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do here is, at the four corners, I'm going to mark out 4 inches. I won't be going so much into explanation because I don't want this class to be too long, but you understand why I'm marking these 4 inches as we go on. So 4 inches on all the 4 sides. I'm drawing a square of 4 inches, 4 by 4. So you can see 4 by 4. I'll do the same thing at this top. 4 inches by 4 inches. Okay. So that's it. We have the 4 on the 4 corners. I'll be using my pinking shade. I prefer using this so that it has this zigzag cut on the edge. But you can use your regular scissors also. So I'm cutting out those 4 corners. By cutting out this 4 by 4, that means I'm going to have a base of 8 inches, and the top also will be 8 inches. That's what it means. So if you want the base to be like 4 inches, you cut 2 by 2. Okay, so this is going to be the top of my bag. This is where the zipper will be. But before I place the zipper, I want to join the what's it called, the foam. I'm going to stitch it to the main material, whatever material you are using. Okay, you'll notice I've not cut out the angles for the foam. And on my material, before I cut it out, I've drawn lines. I created like a grid. You can do any design you want. I just measure like 6 inches this way, then cross it. So I have small boxes. I'm going to stitch on top of the material like this on all the lines, or not, like to create like a quilting event. It's not just for holding the foam to the material, it's also to create a design on the material I'm using. Okay, so we're going to do that first. I'll go to the sewing machine and stitch all the lines this way. You can see the boxes I've created. I drew the line before cutting out these angles. So let's quickly do that, then we'll move on from there. I've stitched the foam to it, and then I've cut the lining piece also to have that shape, you know, the 4x4 that I cut on the main fabric. So this is it. The foam too has been trimmed. Now the next thing we're going to do, okay, let me show you the right side, what it's going to look like. You can see the design on top. If you like, you can do a different design. You can add another, you know, line here to create that effect. After having all this, the next thing we're going to do is to put our handle. There are different ways of attaching the handle. You can take it all the way from the down part like this and stitch to the body of the bag if you have enough, but I don't have enough what's it called, webbing for that style. So what I will do is to attach my handle piece to the top here. So I'll find the midpoint. This is the midpoint of the top part. So it's somewhere here. Then I'm going to measure 3 inches or 3.5 inches. Let's use 3.5 inches on both sides of the midpoint. Stitching the handle, okay, we're going to do the zipper. This is where the zipper will be, at the top here. So we're going to lay it down like this. This is the right side. Okay, let me start with just one side. You have to make sure this is well placed. Okay, I think now you can see that this is not well placed. I have to do it again. So let me just explain. You can see that this part is well placed. Okay, now we're going to place the zipper This is the right side of the zipper, the part where you have the pull. So I'm going to lay it on top and stitch. You can do it separately, as in stitch the zipper first before you attach the lining, but I'll be doing the two together. Basically what we are doing is sandwiching the zipper between the main fabric and the lining fabric. So I'll place the lining fabric. This is the right side of the lining fabric, so I'll place it on top, right side on right side, this way, and stitch so that I have 3 layers. I have the main fabric, I have the zipper the zipper fabric, and then I have my lining fabric. So that's how to attach a zipper to this. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing for the other side. I'll just explain. I need to lose it and then make this one straight. But so what you're going to do is to, open this up like this. Take the other side of the zipper, as in the zipper fabric, and flip it like this. Match it up. Make sure that it's well aligned. and then we're going to stitch like this. But remember, we're also going to turn it with the lining piece. I don't want to cut my this zipper for yet until I'm done. I'll cut it when I'm done. So the same way we'll flip, we're going to place the right side of the lining piece again on top of this. Make sure that you open it up very well and just stitch like this. Okay, and that's it. Let's go ahead and attach the zipper, then we'll go on to the next step. After attaching the zipper, this is what you're going to have. It's going to look like so. So this is the lining piece, this is the main piece. So now before I turn it to the right side, I'll make sure that my handle piece is not in the way. Then I'm going to stitch the sides. I'll stitch the two sides. I could do, you know, for the, what's it called, for the lining piece, but for ease of turning, I'm just going to leave one side open, but I'll stitch one side. I'm going to be leaving this side open so that it will be easy for me to turn it. So I'll stitch this. Let me show you what I'll be doing. You stitch the side seam. I'll just explain it from one side. So after stitching this side, like I'm going to use like 1/2 inch seam. Then I'm going to open it up. I will be matching this edge here with the edge here. Like this, you open it up like this, match it up, and then stitch. Okay, stitch it like this straight, so it's going to form a box like shape. I'll do the same thing for the top here, but remember for this side we have the zipper, so I have to be careful. I'm going to match it up with the opening of the zipper here like this, and then stitch. So I'll do the same thing for, you know, I've done this, I'll try and glue it back. So I'll do the same thing for the main fabric. That is, you stitch this side, open it up, form a box like shape like this, and do a straight line. The same thing with the top, open it up and stitch like this. So like I said, I'll be leaving one side open so that it will be easy for me to turn it out. We have a box. So I've joined, after joining the side seam, open it up, join the base. I will advise, if this is your first time, as in if you're a beginner, I'm trying to turn it, if you're a beginner, it's advisable that you do the one without lining and foam first, so that you get the idea behind what we are doing before you start doing this more complicated one. I uploaded a video earlier on that, you know, it's this same style, but it's a little bit smaller, and also is it doesn't have a lining or a foam. So I suggest you go ahead, watch that one. If you have not watched that one, then come back to this. Now you can see that this part is still open. Okay, for me, to make it easy for me to turn, I have not stitched this part. So this will be the inside of my bag. I'm trying to push this out. Okay, this is the inside of the bag. Okay, yeah, it's like a carton. So before turning it out, I'm going to stitch this part. So unfortunately, because I want to limit the kind of stress I'm going to have, that's why I left all this space open. I would have just left a small space. So all this place that I left open is going to be sewn on the outside like this. So I'll just stitch the side seam just like I did, open it up and stitch the downside, and then I'll do the same thing for the top. Then we can now turn it inside out. So let me quickly do that, then we'll turn it inside out and you'll see what the bag looks like from the outside. Alright, so this is what it will look like when it is done. It's just a bust, and it's quite roomy, as in there's a lot of space inside. And I think the handle, it would have looked better if you are just showing it from the side like this instead of just this place, or you put it on these two sides, as in you have a long strap on this side, but we're just going to make do with what we have. So like I've said previously, watch the previous videos on our Facebook group, the Inspired Design School of Fashion. I would love to see that you are practicing what you are learning, and I'll be uploading a lot on DIY bag making for the next few weeks, so make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any of the upcoming classes. So see you next week.